It was an agonizing choice that set off a firestorm of controversy. Parents driving to Nebraska and using the safe haven law to abandon their children. This month's GQ magazine profiles one of those parents in an article called "The Unspeakable Choice."
It was like the ultimate betrayal that I had to do to my son.
Lavennia Coover was about to do the unthinkable. She was driving to an Omaha emergency room to claim safe haven for her 11-year-old son, Skylar.
That was the hardest time that I've ever had, to kiss your son, tell him that you love him, and turn around and leave, not knowing when you're going to see him again.
For years, Lavennia had struggled to get Skylar help for his mental illness. Diagnosed as bipolar, he was physically violent and had started to torture a family pet.
At that point, I thought, okay, he's already doing this to animals. When's it going to be one of us next?
Medication and therapy had taken all of Lavennia's money and her hope.
Safe haven, safe harbor.
By invoking Nebraska's new law of safe haven, Lavennia put herself and her family in the crosshairs of an international media firestorm.
I was criticized on national TV that all these safe haven parents are just nothing but bad, lazy parents. They don't want to parent anymore. And that is so far from the truth.
Desperate parents like Lavennia, accused of abandoning their children, were exposing serious cracks in the nation's mental health system.
With many of the safe haven parents, they're struggling right now in the courts to get their child back in their home. You know, they don't want to be separated from them. They just want to get the services their kid needs so that that child can try to live a normal life.
I needed help from my daughter immediately. It was life or death.
More than 10 years ago, Leslie Byers fought the same lonely battle for her daughter, Megan. Also diagnosed as bipolar, Megan began showing symptoms at age 2. Today, she's 23.
It's like just a black hole. That's your entire world, is the pain and the feelings you're feeling.
Like Lavennia, Leslie had exhausted her family's health insurance and made too much money to qualify for Medicaid. Out of desperation, she invoked virtually the same law, then called custody relinquishment, to get help.
I want the state to apologize to me and my daughter for the only choice they gave us. And so many families need that apology.
Lavennia was accused by Nebraska's juvenile court system of negligence, a charge that was eventually dropped.
This is Skylar's room.
Skylar has been gone for 6 months now, as Lavennia struggles to make her family whole again.
You like science?
There's no reason any family has to lose custody just because their child was born with something that they had no control over. They're not bad kids. They're kids who need help.
Lavennia Coover is with us live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
You really thought that clearly you were at the end of your rope.
Yes.
I felt like you had no choice but to bring your child in.
Right.
Once you did it, what did you realize?
I realized that I really didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't know if I was ever going to see him again. I didn't know where he was going to go. I didn't know what was going to happen to him.
What's going on with him right now?
He is in foster care right now. Mm-hmm. He is receiving services that he needs. And we're hoping that he'll be home soon.
Is there a possibility that you can get him back?
Yes.
What needs to happen?
We go back to court on April 17th, and we'll see what the judge and the guardian ad litem and county attorney and the caseworker agree on.
Here's the situation. You're a working mom. You're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea here. If you were absolutely destitute, you could get services through Medicaid. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But because you're working, you've exhausted all your insurance, you have no other choice, you feel, than to bring your child to the state.
Right.
That's an impossible choice. Solomon wouldn't be able to figure out what to do in that situation.
No, and it's a choice that I shouldn't have not had to make.
Right.
But I did have to make that choice.
Do you have a sense there is some support within the state legislature now? Do people see your plight for what it actually was, as opposed to these kids are just dumping these parents are dumping their children on the state?
Yes, there are people in the Senate, there are senators now that realize that there is a problem, and that these parents aren't bad parents. They are parents who are looking for help.
Yeah. But is there a sense then also, because this is also about an absence of services, is there a sense of responsibility at the state that say, you know, these people are destitute, they have no place to turn, is it our responsibility to help them out?
There are a few senators who are agreeing with us. It's going to be a fight for us to be able to get the services that we need for our children and to get the state to realize that there is a lack of services.
Have you been able to see your son?
Yes, I see him every week.
And what has that been like?
It's hard. I go and visit, and you have to say goodbye, and then you leave. And you know, you have to wait till the next weekend to see him. And we see him about 4 hours a week, which is not a whole lot.
This whole thing has really cost you a broken heart, hasn't it?
It has. And, you know, it's a broken heart that myself and my family should not have had to gone through.
Thank you for coming and sharing your story. Really appreciate it.